Hey guys, this is Moib here from the University of Greenwich. In this video we're going to continue looking at circle theorems. Now on the board here I've got an example that we're going to go through. I just want to note that in a previous video I went through some of the key terms that come across that you will come across in this type of questions. Make sure you're familiar with these keywords, as I will be using these words throughout this series, and you will need to know them for your exam anyway. So it's important that you know these keywords. So let's start with our question. Here I've got a circle with an angle created at a midpoint. Midpoint is denoted by this black dot here. So I've got an angle of 70 created here at the midpoint. And we've got a diameter that extends outside of the circumference. And we've got an angle created by the chord, a chord of the circle, and this diameter. Okay, and now they want us to find out x. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some points. Okay, this is our point A, this will be our point B, let's call this point C, and our midpoint is, as always, is our origin, denoted by an O. Okay, so immediately I can see that we can work out this angle here, which will essentially give us our final answer of x. But we first need to work out this angle, and like I said, immediately we can see one of the theorems that we looked at in the previous video. So let's get this theorem down. So we know that the angle created at the midpoint by A and B is going to be twice as big as the angle created at the circumference by these same points. So angle ACB equals half of the angle at the midpoint. So half times 70. If you're not familiar with this theorem, go back to the previous video, and I'm sure the link will be in the description, and go through some of these theorems that you may have forgotten. I'm sure you've come across this before, but you just may have forgotten it. But that's a good video to kind of recap on some of the theorems we're going to discuss, and some of the theorems you're going to need to know for your exam. But yeah, carrying on with this, so we know that the angle at the midpoint is twice as big as the angle at the circumference from two of the same points. So we know angle ACB is going to be half of 70, which is 35. So we can put 35 in here. So now that we worked out that this angle is 35, we can simply work out x by doing 180 take away 35 equals x. Now you should all be familiar as to how I got this. We know that the angle of a straight line is 180. So all of this, I'm going to go over this with my pen. All of this needs to be 180. Okay, so if all of that is 180, and we know that this is 35 degrees, if we do 180, which is all of that, take away this portion that we know, that will give us our x, angle of x. Okay, so that's 180 take away 35, and we're left with our x. So 180 take away 35 is simply x equals 145 degrees, and that is the answer. So there was two rules implemented there. The first theorem, that the angle created at the midpoint is twice as big as the angle created at the circumference by the two same points. Okay, we used that rule. And also the generic rule that angles of a straight line, the angle of a straight line is 180, and we just use that to find out what x is.